I'm Kevin Thomas. John Epps here, Moving the Chains. John, we had some good football tonight. We had some blowouts tonight. We had some, maybe not upsets, but some kind of surprises tonight. A little bit of everything, and man, just a great night of football all around.
I tell you, some teams, some folks had a really fun night, and some teams had a really bad time.
Yeah, it was. We were over in Anderson at Hillcrest and TL Hanna playing for the region championship there. Really cool game that we got to see. Very great facilities over there, John.
I tell you what, I was blown away. I haven't been to a ton of baseball parks in college, but I know that I follow Clemson baseball a good bit, and I've seen them play Boston College in baseball up in Chestnut Hill. I'm telling you, TL Hanna's got a better baseball facilities than I think Boston College, and I'm not exaggerating. They have an indoor, what do you call it? Batting cage, basically.
Yep.
Indoor, a nice facility, not like a barn that's covered. No, it is like glass doors, air conditioned.
It's the real deal.
Very, very nice.
It's the real deal.
Very nice.
Yep.
I was extremely impressed. Turf field on the softball field, great looking field, softball field, turf baseball field, turf football field, everything clean, new. They had the flashing lights for the big lights like Sanford Stadium. It was awesome. It was
great. I want to shout out you guys. We've got 7 viewers already. Chris, get in here with a comment. Chris Blanton, what's up, man? Big win for your Indians tonight. Great to have you tuned in. Great to have them back on the field tonight for sure. Like I said, Kevin Thomas, John Epps here, Moving the Chains, Week 7. Final regular season week of the season. A lot of good football games. This team's starting to gear up for the playoffs, John. Let's run through the Upstate scores. Let's run through the statewide scores, and we'll give kind of a recap of the game we were at and then kind of go from there. But let's start in the Upstate, the game we were at. TL Hanna 31, Hillcrest 16. TL Hanna wins the region championship. They will host Ridgeview next week. Hillcrest will go to Northwestern. Our other game of the week in the Upstate, Wren 55, Powdersville 19. BHP blows out Palmetto 52-18. Shocker here. Maybe not shocker, maybe not upset, but just a score people probably didn't see coming. Camden 30, Byrnes 19. That's right. 3A Camden comes up to Nixon Field and beats 5A Byrnes 30-19.
Heard them.
Union County 42, Broome 41. Maybe the game of the night right there, John.
Great game there.
Spartanburg upsets Bowling Springs 30-20. Woodruff 49, Chesney 28. St. Joe's upsets Christchurch 36-29. Malden all over easily 49-6. Gaffney beats Blackwood 24-18 in the first ever meeting between those two programs there. Greenville 31, JL Man 6. Travelers Rest beats Pickens 56-13. Greenwood shuts out Emerald 28-0. Saluda beats 96 26-13. Clinton all over Strom Thurmond 38-6, John. They're kind of a shocker to me.
A little bit.
Pendleton 23, Seneca 19. Woodmont 48, Southside 18. Southside Christian 56, Whitmire 6. Abbeville 63, Liberty 0. Blacksburg 42, Blue Ridge 39. A couple postponements. Greer postponed, Chapman postponed. Then our other two games of the week. North Myrtle Beach blows out Myrtle Beach to win that region championship 34-6. And then Newberry gets into the playoffs behind a 35-19 victory over Batesburg-Leesville. A couple more scores in here. I see Wagner Sally 62-20 over Calhoun County. Mark Tyrell Cordley sent that in. Appreciate you there, Mark. John, hit us with some statewide scores here.
So we'll start with Central of Pageland knocking off Chesterfield tonight, 40-13. That actually not a final yet, but Central of Pageland they're gonna cruise in that one. I don't think you read this score yet. In Pickens, WeRTR blows out the Blue Flame 56-13 in that one.
Big win for the Devil Dogs.
Pendleton knocked off Seneca tonight, 23-19. Colleton County all over Hilton Head Island, 34-13 tonight. Keenan a big winner over Timberland, 52-6 in that one. Here's a very close game. Scotts Branch over C.A. Johnson, 36-35 tonight. C.A. Johnson, the Hornets still having a good season.
They've had a good year. That's a tough loss for them going to the playoffs.
Good season for those guys.
So far.
Newberry a winner on the road tonight against Batesburg-Leesville, 35-19. I don't know. You could go across the state. I don't know that England's got a better resume. Well, actually, I take that back. I think the only team with a better resume, probably than Newberry thus far, is probably Great Collegiate. Those
guys beat everybody.
The top teams in 2A. They've done very, very well.
And Oceanside Collegiate, a top team in 3A as well.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Last week that was Gray that beat Oceanside, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
that is correct.
Chapin knocks off York tonight, 27-21. And this is something we'll talk about in a little bit. Chapin making the long trip up to York County. And, hey, they get paid off getting a victory on the road. Wren, as we talked about, blowout. We kind of expected that, 55-19 over Powdersville.
Patriots, good season, but they're not ready for the big time. It doesn't seem like.
But a huge step forward for them. Huge step forward. Whale Branch blows out Estill tonight, hanging a 50 burger on those guys, 50-0 in that game. West Ashley, a big winner on the road. They knock off Stratford tonight, 49-14. St. Joseph's, they knock off Christ Church in a close game tonight, 36-29 in that one. James Island over St. John's, 17-6. Spring Valley rolls over Richland Northeast, 55-6. North Central continues to have a great season up in Bonetown. They knock off Great Falls, 54-8 in that game. Saluda with a nice win tonight on the road. They beat 96 by a score of 26-13. Silver Bluff, they shut out Midland Valley tonight, 19-0. Silver Bluff, a school, either we just haven't caught a whole lot of scores from them, or they just haven't played a ton of football this year.
Could be a combo of the two.
Hey, this year it's hard to tell.
Who knows?
Hard to tell. St. James, a winner tonight over Loris, 24-12. Cross, a winner over Lake Marion, 34-18. Baptist Hill knocks off North Charleston tonight, 22-8. A battle for Florence. West Florence, a closer game than I expected in this one. They beat South Florence 24-20. Greenwood gets a shutout tonight. They defeat Emerald 28-0. Crescent, they shut out Dixie tonight 34-0. Williston Elko 58, Denmark Olar 39. Hartsville 69, Darlington 26. And Clinton over Strom Thurmond tonight 38-6. I don't have a final score on this, but I do know Dillon did knock off Marlboro County tonight. Bit of a rivalry game there in the PD there. A couple more scores, more so from the Midlands here. Irmo knocks off Westwood tonight, 36-14. Some playoff implications in that game. Louisville shuts out Eau Claire, 40-0. River Bluff all over Lexington tonight, 35-10. And a couple notes for you here. Fairfield Central will play in Mid-Carolina tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. And flipping the script back to Thursday, Orangeburg-Wilkinson knocked off Airport 37-18. And Pelion, they make the playoffs for the first time since, I think, 2006.
And I believe they won the region, too, with that win, correct?
Yes. Maybe they win the region for the first time since 2006. They beat Wade Hampton from the Low Country 12-6 Thursday night as well. So that's our scores from around the state, around the Midlands. A little bit light.
Go ahead, sorry.
A little bit light on the scores. Not a ton of scores.
I just saw one more Upstate score coming through. Eastside 48, Riverside 42. Eagles have a couple wins there to end the season for them. One more I just saw go through was Goose Creek maybe not upsetting, but Goose Creek beat Somerville 30-27 in overtime. John, we were just talking about how they had the pretty cool uniforms and videos. They got the
really
Jordan Blacks tonight they came out with, so that was cool. One more Upstate score. Berea beats Carolina 43-18. Kind of funny. I'm pretty sure those teams have already played once this year. I believe Berea blew them out both times. So funny how that worked out.
That's not good when you get blown out by Berea twice
No.
on one
Do you want to give one more shout out on the score, John? You didn't mention this one here. This is Skis of playoff time already. The PD Academy Golden Eagles get a victory over the Beaufort Eagles 49-28 at the lawn at home this evening. So they'll play, I believe, on the road next Friday night. But big win there for PD. John, I want to give a quick shout out to our social media channels for everybody. Obviously, if you're watching on Facebook, Movin the Chains SC. Love having you guys comment. So I see, Patrick's in here commenting, Mark's in here commenting, Chris in here commenting. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I see Rashodi's in here as well. Haley, Travis, Michael, Patrick, Jamie, Mark, Tyrell, Corey's in here. A lot of viewers. Appreciate you guys. Obviously, if you're watching the video, click that like button. We really appreciate that. It helps get our engagement up. Hit the little, I think it's heart or whatever from the top right. Subscribe so you know when we go live. Like our whole page. Love for you to share it and tell your friends as well. We have some really cool stuff coming for you guys. Next week, we'll be doing our annual playoff preview shows. We're going to do a 1A, 2A, 3A together, and then a 4A, 5A together. Still figuring out the nights we're going to do a Tuesday, Thursday, or a Monday, Wednesday, whatever. We'll figure it out and let you guys know for sure ahead of time with a little bit of an event page there for you. But if you're following us on Facebook, also go like our Twitter page, Movin Chains, MOVINCHAINS. Like our Instagram page, same handle there. On Twitter, we post a lot more updates throughout the week. Instagram, we try to do more kind of some cool photos we take at the games and videos and whatnot. It's always cool to post that stuff. We also put the show up on YouTube afterwards in case you want to watch it there. And then we do an audio-only version that we put out on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast at. So you can hear that if you're driving to work, or driving to the game tomorrow in Carolina, whatever you're doing. Plug us in there and check us out. And, we've been doing these preview shows throughout the week. This last one was our biggest one yet so far this season, John. So that was cool to see. And thank you guys for viewing that. We see Amy Rush is in here now. Appreciate you for that. Comment from Chris. He says Somerville is headed to Dirt Sport next week. So Somerville's season is over, John. Gonna call it now.
And that's what you get. We've noticed this out of Somerville a little bit this year. Mm-hmm. It sounds like they've played pretty good football.
Could have beat Fort Dorchester.
They can't close the game.
Could have beat Goose Creek. That's 2 wins you gotta have there. That's tough there, but
you win those 2 games, your season's totally different.
Yep, exactly right. So
or one of those 2.
John, let's get into this game that we were at tonight. We traveled over to Anderson County. Big shout out also to the AD at TL Hanna, John Can, for hooking us up with the passes tonight. We appreciate being able to go there and cover that game. Hillcrest played over at TL Hanna for the region championship, John. That was region, I believe it's 1-5A, if I'm correct on my notes here. I've got it in here somewhere, but it's not really important. It is region 1-5A for that championship. Both those teams were already in the playoffs there.
Both undefeated coming in.
Yeah, both undefeated. Neither team have been super impressive. They hadn't had like a really big win. TL Hanna's win last week over Westside was very impressive. Besides that,
kind of weak schedule that both of them played.
Yep, Hillcrest kind of sneaking across and just keep getting victories. But comes out, TL Hanna wins 31-16. John, the game could not have started any worse for Hillcrest. But then they kind of bounced back. The opening kickoff, Hillcrest guy fumbles it, picks it up, fumbles it again. TL Hanna falls on inside the 10. Hillcrest holds them to a 3-and-out, or holds them to a field goal there. And then Hillcrest drives down and scores a touchdown, goes up 7-3.
They went right down the field, and what was impressive about that was a 6-minute, 57-second drive that they put together. So Hanna scored that field goal, 10:29 on the clock in the first quarter. Hillcrest went down, scored on a 3-yard quarterback keeper, a good little read option play with 3:32 on the clock in the first quarter. Basically, they literally chewed up half the first quarter on that one drive.
John, and that's something that we mentioned in the previous show, how both of these teams, they're kind of defensive-minded, and they really run the clock on you. TL Hanna with that kind of triple option, whatever you want to call their offense, a lot of running, a lot of chewing the clock. Hillcrest does it a little bit different way. They spread you out a little more some read option, more just really hang out of a one-back shotgun formation. But they keep the clock rolling too, and we saw that. The game went by pretty quickly, but go back to some, keep going through the game there as much as you want to, for sure.
Yeah, it was. I thought initially, Hillcrest stepped on got in their own way to the beginning, but great job to hold them to 3 and then to go right down the field. And what I saw in the first quarter, after the first quarter that score obviously held, it was 7-3 Hillcrest going in the second quarter. Both teams, you could tell both defenses were pretty stout, but both teams were moving the ball, 3-4 yards. But Hillcrest threw the ball around a little bit.
Yep. Sophomore quarterback, the Judy kid, looked pretty solid, actually.
He throws a good ball. Hanna threw a little bit of a screen pass first play of the game after that fumble recovery. They didn't throw another pass, I believe, until the second half.
Did not complete one until the fourth quarter.
That's right. That's right. So they were very one-track mind, we're going to run it. Whereas Hillcrest, I thought, okay, they got a little more weapons in the bag. Good-looking quarterback, can throw a good ball. They can run it. They can spread the field out a little bit, 3-4 wide receivers, and throw the ball a little bit. And I thought, okay, Hillcrest has got more going on here. They can win this game. But, Hanna just they kind of took over with the run game. Morrison kid got a touchdown, first touchdown for Hanna. Early, it was actually the first play of the second quarter. They went up 10-7. Hillcrest comes back, puts together a decent drive. They hit a 32-yard field goal, tie the game at 10. And then later in the second half, J.J. Hudson for Hanna. Very impressive. Big kid, running back. He takes an inside handoff, and then, he had a good hole up the middle. And give props to the Hillcrest defense line because they played pretty well.
They played very well.
They got beat a handful of times. And this is one of the plays they just got beat. Good blocking up front, and Hudson was able to kick it out far side, get to the corner. He gets 54 yards. They go up 17-10.
That was really the one big play Hanna had all day. Besides that, it was 3-4 yards at a time. Nothing really broke big for them except for that one.
And there was also a really good hustle play on Hanna, wide receiver. So, that 54-yard run, they took the ball. They're in 46. I would say about maybe the 15, 10-yard line of Hillcrest. Wide receivers running down the field, and he really sealed off that last guy to get Hudson into the end zone. But, it's 17-10 at that point, and that was the score going into the locker room. And Kevin and I were talking at halftime, hey, and I forget what coaches did. There's probably a lot of coaches, actually. He said the two biggest drives of the game are that last drive before halftime and then the first drive coming out into the second half. And we saw punts. We saw one punt
Not many.
in the first half. Start of the third quarter, defense has buckled down a little bit. But at the end of the third quarter, Hudson springs off for another 24-yard touchdown run and gets to the corner. And it makes it 24-10, just 2 minutes left in the third quarter. And that I felt like we saw Hillcrest press a little bit. The way that both these teams operate, especially Hanna. Hey, we're going to run the ball. We're going to take our time. We're going to chew up the clock. And it really made Hillcrest press a little.
Yeah.
And then halfway through the fourth quarter, Hanna got that touchdown pass. A good ball.
It was.
Threw it up high, back of the end zone, let the big kick come down with it. But, it's 24-10 at this point. Hillcrest pressing. And then with 6:19 to play in the game, Hillcrest then goes up 31-10. And, Hillcrest had a good drive coming back where they really started throwing the ball all over the field, really moving the ball well. They scored again with 4:56 left. And it's 31 – they missed the extra point. But it's 31-16 at this point. And think, okay, there's 5 minutes left. If they kick the onside kick, if they get it and can go down and score, all right, now we got a little bit of a ball game here. Hanna comes out ready for the onside kick, and Hillcrest kicks it deep.
Which is such an odd decision with the Hanna offense. If they get one first down, they run the clock out. So that was a shocker to me.
And that's basically what they did.
Exactly. Yep.
So it was an interesting game plan on that. But one thing I thought Hillcrest did well that you're not going to see in the box score is, with 4.5 minutes left in the third quarter, Hanna lines up for a 48-yard field goal attempt. And it's still 17-10 at this point. And you're thinking, okay, that's a big field goal. They make this go up 2 scores. They miss it. It goes off it had plenty of distance, went off the upright.
Yep. And
then it was, I guess it was before that. Yeah, it was before the end of the first half.
Yeah, following an interception too. That Hillcrest had thrown.
Hillcrest blocked a 37-yard field goal to keep that score 17-10 as well. So 2 field goals in a row. Hillcrest did a good job keeping them off the board, but they just were not able to capitalize on offense. And I think really they waited too long to really push the ball downfield because they could obviously do it.
Yep. I think, it seems like their game plan was kind of just keep it conservative and just play defense and just hope that, maybe the other team makes some mistakes. The problem when you play a team like TL Hanna, they're not going to make many mistakes with that offense like that. Yeah. That's a well-oiled machine. You've got to be a little more aggressive because you've got to score on most of your possessions. You're going to get limited possessions to start off with. You can't really hold back. And we saw Hillcrest make 2 turnovers.
And those weren't really, I'd say the first one.
Yeah, kind of throwing back off the field a little bit. Yeah, wasn't a great idea.
But the second one, he's throwing the ball far side of the field. It's a tough throw. But the cornerback, number 21 for, I think it was Walter Smith for TL Hanna. He just made a really good play. Yeah. He broke on the ball, and I mean he was right there with the receiver and just kind of he got his hands in front of the receiver's hands to pick that ball up. It was more of a good play by Hanna, but it was conservative. And one thing that I was a little bit miffed by, I think that quarterback is good for Hillcrest.
Yeah, I think so too.
But it was a lot of long routes. There was one play where, they're on the near side of the field and they have a receiver on the far side, and he runs a long drag route across the field, and they got the completion, but about, he's right on the sidelines 3 or 4 yards, but it took so long for that kid to come. I mean, probably 35 yards to come across the field, and that's just you're setting your guys up to really difficult to make a play there. Hanna had a good defensive line. Yeah. The kid's on the run, throwing the ball, trying to let these routes develop.
It was tough. I don't really see either one of these teams winning the 5A championship. I don't think they probably win the 5A state playoff. I doubt they win Upper State. These teams, they're solid football teams, but they're, for them to win a game, they got to have a lot of breaks go their way. You know what I'm saying? TL Hanna, with them, they've almost got to score every possession. Their defense is good, but it's not great. I thought they were a little better than I saw tonight. But that offense, it's not the same offense they had when they had the Meredith kid at quarterback and Zach Pickens, running the fullback dives for them. It's not as explosive as it was then for sure. And then Hillcrest, they're not a bad football team. They're a decent football team, but I don't see them winning Upper State for sure. But
I think the problem with these two teams, I think both of them will suffer the same affliction in the playoffs. They're good if they can control the game.
Yeah.
If they can control the game, they have no problem running it, chewing up clock, scoring 20 points, whatever. But either one, we saw it with Hillcrest in the second half, and I think we would see the same thing with Hanna, probably even more so. Because that Hanna passing game, pretty non-existent.
Yes.
If they get down by 7,
they can't catch up.
2 or 3 scores, it's over. It's over.
Yeah, but I see Katie's in here now watching. So is Logan. So is Charles. Appreciate you guys. A couple more comments here. Chris said he caught the preview show on Spotify this week. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. Patrick gets here saying that Blacksburg beat Blue Ridge. Yep, had that score. Okay. Appreciate that. Charles talking about Wren. Wren will play at Fairfield Central next week.
Ooh, that's a tough road trip. That's
and Wren's a pretty good team. That's tough to see how it goes.
I think they win that game, but that's a tough road game for Wren. That's a long trip too.
Yep. Chris saying the brackets will be released around lunchtime tomorrow.
Great.
The thing is, Chris, I think most of them are already known. There's a couple at larges we got to see about, obviously, but
those will be the big ones.
We got a pretty good of idea of where people are going. He also says Gaffney will play Dorman or Northwestern in the Upper State title game. I think it's got to be Dorman. I don't think Northwestern is that good, Chris. They're a good team.
I think they're gonna have.
I don't know if they're Dorman good.
Lay a claim on that, but it's gonna be hard for them to beat. Dorman or Gaffney.
Yeah. Chris, I got to ask you this too. I heard this on the way back. We tuned into the Byrnes Camden game on the way back. Cole Bryson, play for Byrnes, good friend of mine, said that Gaffney has only lost one home playoff game in the last 40 years. Can you confirm that? I
don't know.
I kind of believe it. It just seems like that's a very long time.
He seemed very confident.
Yes, he was very adamant about it. So I believe him, but that is a wild stat if that's true. So, Chris, if you can confirm that'd be great. Really appreciate that.
We're going to look it up, too.
Yeah, I want to give a quick shout-out to our sponsor, the George Agency. Guys, open enrollment's happening now. If you're a seasonal worker, if you're maybe like you work in a restaurant where you don't get insurance through your company, whatever it is, open enrollment is happening now through the end of November. Give those guys a call, and they can help you out. Call Richard, call Bradley, call Wayne and the crew there. They will get you set up. Maybe if you're over 65 or on disability, and you need Medicare, Medicaid, they can help you out with that as well. Or if you're a business owner, maybe you own a small business, and you own a landscape service, whatever it is, give those guys a call, set up your whole group. They've got offices in Mullins and Myrtle's Inlet. They can work with you wherever you are in the state. Columbia, Seneca, Greenville, Greer, Myrtle Beach, they got clients where they can certainly take care of you. And this is the time to do it during open enrollment here. TheGeorgeAgency.net and the George Agency on Facebook. We've got a comment from Patrick here. Is Byrnes Gaffney in Roebuck? Byrnes will play at the reservation against Gaffney next Friday night, Patrick. And then Chris said that is true, and the one loss was to Boiling Springs. So how about that? That is a wild stat, because we talked about it on the car back, John. Gaffney's a team They host a lot of playoff games. They're usually a pretty high seed.
And they're
so
in Columbia a lot.
Crazy stat. I love that. That's awesome. That is awesome.
So he said that's right.
He said that's right.
Holy moly.
So let's, John, let's run through the Upstate scores one more time, state scores one more time, then we'll get our teams of the week if that works for you.
I'm ready.
All right. Upstate scores, the game we just talked about. TL Hanna 31, Hillcrest 16, Wren 55, Powdersville 19, BHP 52, Palmetto 18. You know that Palmetto team, we talked about a little bit a couple weeks ago, John. They look a little bit funny in the light. They last two. They look a little funny in the light here.
They got into the top 10 and just immediately threw it in reverse.
Yeah, fell apart over there. They're in the playoffs, but they still fell apart.
Yeah.
Camden 30, Byrnes 19. Second ever meeting between those two schools, and Camden's now 2-0 against Byrnes.
Ouch.
How many teams in the state can say they're undefeated against Byrnes?
We don't know where that first game was. It could have been at Zip. It could have been up at Nixon.
I think it was in the playoffs. I don't remember where, but I saw that stat from Zach Johnson earlier this week.
That is. I know we got a lot of Byrnes fans, but that is ugly.
Yeah, I'm going to try to pull up the stats here in a minute. We know we listened to the car. Willis Lane Jr. had over 200 yards rushing against Byrnes. You know, John,
217 at one point. And the young man was not done.
Yeah, I think maybe we circle back to this game here in a few minutes and kind of give some quick thoughts on that and just the Byrnes season.
Yeah, we did get to listen to a large majority of the fourth quarter of that game, and I actually had on my phone and listened to second half bits and pieces.
Yeah. Well, around the rest of the Upstate, we had Union County beating Broome 42-41. Spartanburg upsetting Bowling Springs 30-20. That's the Bowling Springs team that had not lost since week 1 to Gaffney. Losing tonight to Spartanburg heading into the playoffs. Berea blows out Carolina 43-18. Woodruff 49, Chesney 28. St. Joe's 36, Christchurch 29. Malden blows out easily 49-6. That Easily program is just in shambles, John. They are over there. Gaffney beats Blythewood 24-18 in their first ever meeting there. Greenville, I lose the last game for them 31-6 over JL Man. You hate to see that for Greenville, a very good team there. It's not going to be in the playoffs. I know that I think that the SCHSL made it where you can play a game next week if you're not in the playoffs.
Right.
But interesting to see how many teams take advantage of that. I don't believe Greenville is. I think that's probably the end of their season tonight. Travelers Rest blows out Pickens 56-13. Greenwood 28, Emerald 0. Saluda 26, 96-13. Clinton 38, Strom Thurmond 6. Pendleton 23, Seneca 19. Woodmont 48, Southside 18. Southside Christian 55, Whitmire 6. This Southside Christian team, John, is a team in 1A that might could make some noise. We're talking about
they make a lot of noise.
They keep winning football games this year. Abbeville all over Liberty 63-0. I'm trying to remember the stat I had last week about how many points they'd allowed to in-state schools. Whatever it is, it got 0 points added to it tonight. So
update here. Our man Willis Lane, 240 yards and 3 visits to the end zone tonight.
Willis Lane, huge night for him there.
Correction, he just got 5 more yards. 345.
Still running. Blacksburg 42, Blue Ridge 39. We had Greer postponed, Chapman Walhalla postponed, Beaufort Landrum postponed. A couple other games of the week. We had North Myrtle Beach blowing out Myrtle Beach 34-6. The Myrtle Beach quarterback got hurt at one point, Ryan Berger. Interesting to see how long he is out. I did not see a blowout coming. I'm kind of surprised by that Chiefs victory that bad, John.
Yeah, and we didn't count on their quarterback exiting that game early either, but that is props to North Myrtle Beach.
Yep.
It's been a long time coming for those guys. They've had a good team for a while, which is Myrtle Beach has been
a little bit better. Yep. Newberry 35, Batesburg-Leesville 19 in our other game of the week. And then one more upstate score, John. Eastside 48, Riverside 42. Chris said the playoffs under 3A is when Camden beat Byrnes the first time. That sounds right. He thinks this is at Camden, but not sure about that. And that Bowling Springs loss is troubling since they're headed to play Northwestern. I agree. I was high on Bowling Springs. They've had a couple nice wins. They beat Greenwood last week or a couple weeks ago. They've had a couple nice wins there behind Jalen Dodd at quarterback. Tonight, that I don't know what happened. Spartanburg hadn't beat anybody.
I don't know.
So I don't know what happened to Bowling Springs tonight.
Did they rest guys? I don't know.
Could be. But heading over to play Northwestern next week it's not a good sign heading into that game for sure.
No, and that's a game, if they can get their act together, that's going to be a good game next week in the first round.
Yeah. Well, John, you want to hit some state scores right quick? If you got some more quick run around there, and then we'll do our teams of the week for everybody.
Yeah, so we will start with Chesterfield. they are losing. We don't have a final on this, but Central Pageland was up 40-13 last check there. Travelers Rest, a big winner tonight over in Pickens. They win 56-13 over the Blue Flame. Pendleton 23, Seneca 19. Colleton County, a big winner over Hilton Head Island tonight, 34-13. A little surprising there. Keenan, a winner over Timberland tonight, 52-6. Here's a good game. Scotch Branch 36, C.A. Johnson 35. Still a good season for the Hornets though this year. Big improvement for those guys. Here is a great score. We've talked a ton about Newberry this year, and I think we're going to talk about them a good bit in the playoffs too. They go to Batesburg-Leesville tonight. They win 35-19 in that game. Louisville, they shut out Eau Claire tonight 40-0. Chapin making a big trip tonight. They go up to York, knock off the Cougars 27-21. Got some Upstate scores that we already dropped here. Whale Branch with a 50-burger tonight. They beat Estill 50-0. West Ashley goes down to Stratford. They knock off Stratford 49-14. St. John's, they fall at home tonight to James Island 17-6. Spring Valley blows out Richland Northeast 55-6. North Central continues to have a great season for those guys. The Knights, they knock off Great Falls 54-8. And another team kind of flying maybe under the radar. I think we put so much, not pressure, but a lot of anticipation on the Saluda team coming off the state championship last year. They bounced back tonight. They've had a little bit of a tough year, but they beat 96 tonight, 26-13 on the road. Silver Bluff, they go on the road, shut out Midland Valley 19-0. St. James, also a road winner tonight, 24-12 over Loris. Cross knocks off Lake Marion 34-18. Baptist Hill, a winner over North Charleston 22-8. The Battle for Florence, West Florence, in a closer game than I expected. They beat South Florence 24-20. Greenwood, they shut out Emerald 28-0. Crescent over Dixie 34-0. Williston Elko 58. Denmark Olar 39. Hartsville 69. Darlington 26. And a final score. This is a little bit of a surprise as well. Clinton knocking off Strom Thurmond 38-6 tonight. Good win for the Red Devils to close out the regular season for those guys. Couple more scores from around the Midlands. Irma puts themselves in the playoffs tonight. They beat Westwood 36-14.
They will travel to Westside next week, I believe, in a ball game there against the Rams.
Maybe a chance. I mean, that's 36-14 wins.
Yep.
Pretty impressive tonight. Yep. River Bluff, they blow out Lexington 35-10 tonight. And a score that I wish I did not have to read. But number one in 4A, they flexed tonight all over the Lugoff Elgin Demons, 71-8. I was trying to pull up the highlights of this game. I think this game was in Lugoff too, which is just
I got a couple more here for you. The Dillon final. Dillon beats Marlboro County 58-27.
Oh.
Thursday night, Orangeburg Wilkinson defeats Airport 37-18. Kingstree beats Mullins 8-6. Where is the other one I had? Another shocker for me, John, here. A team that we are usually pretty high on, but has kind of crapped the bed the last few weeks. And I lost it now. I can't find it. There it goes. Blackville Hilda 32, Barnwell 21 last night. That Barnwell team, I don't know what's going on there. They're not playing their best football right now heading into the playoffs, which is not what you want to see. And one more, got to give a shout out to PD Academy 49-28 over Buford Academy. They will play
playoff game, right?
Playoffs and Skeeza already. So week 2, the playoffs coming up next week for Skeeza. Chris gets another comment, says that next week Broome will play Spartanburg in kind of an extra game there. That'll be interesting to see.
Okay, nice little
Vikings.
A little bit of a rivalry game there for
Battle
Spartanburg
for the east side of Spartanburg, Chris says there. So that'll be interesting.
Hey, this is a chance for Broome to
step up. Yeah, I remember, if I remember correctly, 4 or 5 years ago, Broome beat Byrnes. If I think in one of those really big Byrnes down years, I'm pretty sure Broome beat them. So Broome is no, I can't think of the right word.
Slouch. Yeah,
they're no slouch. They're no pushover when it comes to playing these big teams.
Now,
They can beat some of these big guys.
Broome from the 90s and early 2000s, they were a high quality program. Mm-hmm. I remember I used to live in Chester. They would come up and they would beat up the Cyclones. They had, if you remember, Where Are They Now? Joe Don Reams.
Ooh, buddy.
Was a Broome product, and boy, he was exciting to watch. And then really good player coming out of Broome not too long ago, DJ, and his last name is escaping me. He was a Clemson commitment at one point in time. Did not play at Clemson, but then he went to, I want to say either Kentucky or Vanderbilt, and had a very good career in the SEC. Someone help me out with that one. I know DJ was his first name. Good player. Good player.
More viewers here. So we've got EJ, Brett's in here, Hunter's in here. Patrick said he likes Broome in that game, and then he said Broome beat Byrnes in a scrimmage 2 years ago. I'm pretty sure. No, really? I think there was a game. It was a regular season game. I think it may have been during the Brian Lane years. I don't really know, but I believe Broome beat Byrnes. If it wasn't Broome, it was some other smaller school that should not beat Byrnes. I remember that happening. I can't remember. Maybe it was 4 or 5 years ago. It's been a little while now. One of those down years for them for sure.
I have. Kevin, I'm going to jump in here. I'm looking at some highlights here for AC Flora, and I'm not 100% positive because of the camera angle, but it looks like Flora went fake punt.
Was it DJ
on
Moore?
The Demons.
Chris says
DJ Moore. DJ Moore. There it is. Winner. DJ Moore, good football player at the college level.
There it is. Well, John, so are you ready for your team of the week? I think I've got mine lined up. I got a pretty good guess who yours is going to be.
Well, you go first.
I'm going to go with the team that played in one of our games of the week. A team that hasn't won the region in quite a while. Not because they haven't been good, because that team's been better. I'm going to go North Myrtle Beach Chiefs.
I like it a lot.
Beating Myrtle Beach.
I like it a lot.
I'm going to go with them. A blowout win. A team that can really run the ball. We talked about that on the pregame show, how they could really run it well. And I think they ran all over Myrtle Beach, it sounds like, 34-6 tonight.
I like it a lot. Mine is, I think, pretty easy here. Got to go Camden Bulldogs.
Yeah. Great pick there.
To schedule a game here last minute, and they took about that's probably that's over a 100-mile trip. I'm thinking that's probably about a 2-hour trip for the Camden Bulldogs.
Couple hours,
to come up to Nixon Field, play and I know Byrnes say, hey, we've got a down year. It's still a high-quality Byrnes team.
Yep.
They play Dorman tough.
Yep.
We'll see what they do in the playoffs down at the reservation next Friday. But anytime you can step up, and the Byrnes announcers, they made sure everyone was aware that Camden was 3A and Byrnes is 5A. But, listen to that game, and it seemed like every other hit when Byrnes had a football there, ooh, that was a tough hit. Ooh, that one hurt.
These boys are bringing them in. We heard the pregame show. These guys are big. These guys are big boys on this team.
They came off the bus and said, hey, we're lining the ball up. We're ready to go.
Yeah.
It's a very impressive win for those guys. And it sounded like there was a lot of energy and a lot of passion on the Camden sideline. They sounded like they would listen on the radio. It sounded like they brought a bunch of fans, brought some students. So really, really cool for Camden. That's that's a huge jumping off point.
Yes, that's
to get
big.
To 3A, and we say this every year. A couple of years ago it was 4A, and then we expanded to a 5A. That 3A class, man, the playoffs are going to be
very fun.
All kinds of fun this year.
Well, John, let's stick on that here for Byrnes Camden for a second. Talk about that. I do want to hop in here. I do have the game I was thinking of. Broome defeated Byrnes 34-28 on September 16th of 2016. That put Byrnes at 1-4 on the season. I remember that game. I remember watching that or having that score that night. So Broome has beaten the big boys as recently as 4 years ago. So back to that Broome Camden game, John, and just Byrnes in general, or Byrnes Camden. Byrnes, I don't know what to do with them. I really don't. We talk about how week 1. Mac Long sets the school record, sophomore, rushing record, 200 whatever yards, beating Marcus Lattimore's record. And then, they beat Spartanburg fairly handily, but they give up a lot of points, too, to them. They really did. Yeah. Come back the next week, they play Riverside, where they beat Riverside, no big deal. They get a lot of COVID issues here, there. They come back to play Dorman last week after about 4 weeks off. Get beat pretty handily by Dorman. And then tonight, You'd be pretty handily by Camden. And really, that game, probably not as close as the score was because 6 of Byrnes' points came on a kick return.
That's right.
So, I don't know what you do if you're Byrnes. We talked about all year how they've got a pretty good O-line, we thought. Mac Long, the running back, is pretty good, we think. I think the quarterback is the issue. They played the Blackman kid a lot, and he tried to run it, but all he could do is run it.
And then late in the ball game, they put Blackman out at wide receiver.
And they put the Rogers guy in who can throw it a little bit, but he's so young. I think Byrnes. I don't know how they win next week against Gaffney.
They're going to need a lot to go their way. But the thing is, and we're over here, bringing this gloom and doom, acting like Camden's not a good team.
Right. Oh no, there certainly are.
There's a reason Camden said, "Yeah, we'll play this game."
Yeah.
Obviously, these guys knew, hey, we got a chance to go up there and we got a chance to beat one of the most historic, powerful programs in the state of South Carolina.
Yeah.
And doggone they did it.
Yeah.
So props to them for having that confidence. But there's a reason they had that confidence.
Yeah.
They believed in it. Not anybody can just go and do that.
Yeah. And we said it last week, Willis Lane Jr., one of the finalists of Michigan football. So the kid's a big time player.
How many people, and I know Byrnes has only played 4 games this year. How many people have rushed for over 200 yards against?
Right.
Probably one. So that's maybe doing. I don't know what Chance Black did against Byrnes, but I feel like
he didn't do a lot. I think Ty Lindsey actually had the bigger game for them.
I feel like we would have been talking about it had he had 240 yards. So there's a reason that kid is a chance to get Gatorade Player of the Year for the state too.
Chris says, "I know what Gaffney's going to do next week. They're going to send him home to start basketball." So like that. Patrick says, "Gaffney looked a little bit sloppy tonight to play better against Byrnes next week." But this is not the same Byrnes team that they've seen in the years past. They're not the Bobby Bentley Byrnes teams for sure. They're not even the Lawrence Scott, Rajay Harris Byrnes teams from last year either.
Yeah, that team had a lot of talent last year.
They lost a lot. I think they've got to find a way to get Nana Burris more involved on offense. He's one of the few playmakers they have, besides I guess Mac Long, who had to come out for a while for Kentucky.
And they have a strong offensive line.
Yep. Eli Henderson going to Arkansas. It's going to be interesting to see. But John, do you have your too far to get your butt kicked team?
This is going to be a little bit of a toss-up here.
Uh-oh.
I know some people may not like this. I'm giving it to Myrtle Beach.
That's not that far.
I know. But, you run the Grand Strand for all these years, and then in the big rivalry game, you get blown out.
Yep.
You get blown out. And when it's a rivalry game, that bus ride don't have to be long at all.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough way to go. And I know they had some bad luck with the quarterback going down, but getting beat by your rival 34-6 after you kind of own them, that's tough. Yeah,
I want to shout out to you guys. See some more viewers coming in now. Appreciate all the comments tonight as well. Kevin Thomas, John Epps here. Week 7, Moving the Chains, our high school football recap show. Obviously, we're live now on Facebook. If you're on here, hit that like button. And don't only like the post, like our page. Hit the star, hit the heart up there so you get subscribed when we go live every week. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram, Moving Chains. Follow us on YouTube. We got an audio-only version we put out on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that stuff. What we love about the show, John, we say this about every week, is that if you miss us and you tune in late, for one, we're going to hit the scores again. You're going to hear them through the second time, third time, whatever. But then the show just stays here. It doesn't go away. It's still on Facebook Live. You can still go watch it on Facebook afterwards. You can watch it on YouTube afterwards, whatever. And, we think that we're really feeling the need. Again, tonight, John, we listened to our favorite show on the radio, and we heard about 2 scores, and we heard about a 10-minute interview with Greenville Tech, which is just what everybody tunes in for after high school games.
It sounded
so
frustrating. We were talking about the honors college at Greenville Tech. I gotta be honest, I did not know there was an honors college.
So frustrating.
No disrespecting anybody that goes to Greenville Tech.
Yeah.
Or works there.
Yeah.
I did not know this.
Yeah.
I don't care to find this information out
Friday
night at 10 o'clock. I don't want to know that.
Yeah.
What did Dorman do tonight? What did Warren Springs do tonight?
Give us the updates there. So that's why we keep doing the show. When we appreciate you guys viewing us, we love to see our viewers grow and grow and grow. We really do appreciate it. Got a quick comment from Amy here. It said, sad to see Greenville season come to an end. Good luck to everyone in the playoffs. Yeah, Amy, that is very sad. That's a team that John and I talked about that they have potential to get to the state championship, maybe even win it. A lot of talent there, and just it's awful the way the playoffs work out this year. It's not really anybody's fault. It's just you hate to see it.
And then and we've seen Greenville play a lot of football over the last few years. Obviously, it's easy for us, and this was the best Greenville team I've seen in a few years, and that's even with Davis Bevel.
Agreed.
At Greenville last year, who's now at the Pitt. and it stinks the way that they get booted out. It was a 3-way tie for the region championship, and not that it's anybody's fault. Again, not that it's Greenville's fault. They lost to the wrong people at the wrong time, and hey, Greer and Greenwood, kudos to them. They've got good teams this year, but that was a fun Greenville team to watch this year.
Yep. With
the Scott twins, those were some really fun players to watch. I like the quarterback. Mm-hmm. He's fun to watch.
Franklin, yep. He'll be there. He's a young guy. He'll be back, I think, next year.
The bowling ball running back.
Yep.
They've had some speed, too.
Yep.
I like him, too.
Tough.
I think that's one of the saddest things we've come across this season.
Chris gets in here and says he never understood why he does that on the Greenville Tech comment. We don't understand it either, Chris. It makes no sense. I know you're your sponsors, they pay the bills, but you got to tell them something besides a 10-minute interview. You can't get that. We do our sponsors. George Jason, we talk about them in 30 seconds and they're off the screen, but I'll do it right now. We're doing it, John. If you need insurance, give these guys a call. GeorgeJC.net, GeorgeJC on Facebook. If you need it for yourself or for your company, now's the time. Open enrollment's going on. You only have one chance a year to do this, and it's now. It's now until the end of December. Or now to the end of November for regular insurance. If you're on Medicaid, Medicare, that's till December 15th, I believe it is. Either way, get it taken care of now. Call Bradley, Wayne, Richard, and the crew down there, and tell them the boys at Movin the Chains sent you, and they'll take care of you for sure. Love to have you sign up as clients with those guys. But, John, a couple admin things I kind of want to hit on here that, I've noticed I've seen throughout the year or throughout the week. One of them, Greer had a postponement this week due to COVID. And that means their playoff game next week is going to be actually played on Saturday against Catawba Ridge. That's going to be a very interesting game, John.
That's going to be
Catawba Ridge has gotten some nice wins this year, but that game will be played on Saturday. I don't know if it's because that's when they get off of the COVID protocol or so they can have a certain number of practices beforehand. I don't know. But that game will be played next Saturday in 4A there. Some more news out of the high school league office. Monday, they will be announcing the state championship sites. Sounds like they're going to be playing 2 classifications at one location, the other 3 at another one, so it sounds like what they're usually doing. I don't know if it's going to be in Columbia or where it's going to be, but that'll come out Monday with where that location is going to be. Chris got to let us know earlier that the playoff brackets are coming out tomorrow around lunch, so then we'll know all the at-large teams. There's none in 5A, but there's some in 4A, and I believe maybe 2A. I'm not sure about 3A. I know 4A's got a couple. It looks like 4A has some. I've got them right here printed off in front of me. So it looks like 4A has some, and none in 3A.
So I'm looking at 3A right now, and there are some. Here is one really, really cool matchup in the first round. Chester Cyclones, a little bit of a down year this year, but that's who Daniel draws in the first round.
Hey,
that's a tough first round draw.
And I'm excited. Obviously the shortened playoffs stinks for some reasons, like with Greenville getting left out and whatnot, but that means round 1, we're seeing, say, some big-time football. There's only 8 teams on each side of the bracket this year.
Oceanside Collegiate, they got to face the Turtle offense of Ainer.
Oh,
buddy.
That's going to be fun.
That's going to be tough.
I just looked it up. So we got at-large teams in 4A, 2A, and 1A. So that's interesting to see. Chris says, I don't see why they don't do it at Clemson or Willie B. Patrick says, rumors.
I think it's with the colleges, and I don't quote me because I don't know the exact wording or decision making, but because of obviously with the Gamecocks and Tigers having to do everything they need to do to be within the protocols and keep everybody safe, they don't want to put their staff at risk by hosting a championship. And I think also, especially for Clemson, I would pure conjecture here, but I don't think they want to bring any more people on campus than they have to, especially what we saw last week with Trevor Lawrence getting out. For that reason alone, you want to keep as many people off campus.
Chris comments 1 and 2A have at large. And Lower State 4A has a couple as well, Chris. And one thing, I'm kind of surprised they're going to do multiple at the same site because of what you mentioned last week is that they've got to clear out the whole stadium and sanitize the whole stadium between games is what I was reading as well. So that's going to be tough. I see Patrick says he's heard a rumor that Walford could be one of the sites.
That would be really cool.
That would be cool. Going to be odd to see what comes out with that and what they pick, but hopefully we can certainly go in and get some of the games and check them out for sure, John.
Here's another. Should we give more sneak peeks about next week?
Give a couple, yeah. And while John's looking these up, Tune in next week for our playoff preview shows.
It's the funnest show of the year. I love
We'll do a
that
1, 2A, 3A combo, and then a 4A, 5A combo. We're still debating on the night. Once we get that done, we'll set up an event page so you guys will just know what night it's going to come out on. Then obviously we'll go live that night. We'll be taking questions as we're going through it and whatever. So be sure to tune in and ask those. Working on some cool graphics and whatnot for you guys. So excited about that. But yeah, John, give us a couple big matchups. I know we mentioned that Greer-Catawba Ridge. We mentioned Hillcrest Northwestern, TL Hanna, and
Boiling Springs,
and TL Hanna and Bridgeview. Boiling Springs at Dorman, Byrnes at Gaffney. It's a few of the big ones. And what are some other ones that kind of caught your eye right quick here as we sign out for the night?
In 4A, South Point, they get to host.
Who beat Rock Hill tonight as well, I believe.
Very good win for South Point. They had to play Greenwood in the first round. I saw Greenwood play Greenville.
Yep.
I would not want any part of that group.
No,
that is a big physical group. That's going to be South Point probably wins that game.
I don't know.
They're going to have to earn it.
I've been kind of low on South Point this year, John. I talked about that a couple weeks ago. I feel like they're not quite as good as they have been because I think they've got too much going on with the offense. Like the one game they play Omega Blake at quarterback the whole time.
They can't really make up.
Next game they play another guy at quarterback the whole time. You got to figure something out this late in the season. I'm trying to look for a final of that game right quick to make sure I've got that, but that will be a heck of a ball game for sure.
That's going to be tough. And Greenwood, I don't know who they played. So South Point had a really tough game against Rock Hill tonight. I know it was 14-7 South Point at one point. Rather, they're in the second half of that game. But, that's no matter what, that's going to be a game that's physical, going to be draining, a lot of emotion being a rivalry game.
Yep.
Greenwood got to cruise pretty much against Emerald tonight. So they might come into that game a little more fresh, a little more rested.
I've got the final here: South Point 21, Rock Hill 18.
Wow!
This point of season for the Bearcats. So they had some big games early they couldn't capitalize on, and that's at least their third loss this year, if not fourth.
Yeah, I know they lost a tough
season for those guys. Yeah, tough season. I think also Sumter as well early. So tough year for those guys. It'll be interesting to see, John. Like I said, like that. I'm excited to get these playoff brackets filled out and kind of make some calls. What we're probably going to do, like I mentioned, we're going to do our previews next week. We'll probably do a show next Friday night, recapping that. Obviously, we'll do our normal recap stuff, and then we'll do a show again the week of the state championships, talking about that. And I'm sure we'll be calling each other dumb for picking whatever teams we did next week that we did. And I'm sure it'll backfire by then, of course. But we'll see. Chris says South Point taking Greenwood to the woodshed next week. That will surprise me if that happens, Chris. That Greenwood team can play. They got kind of that funky offense you don't see a lot of. Oh, he said Rock Hill's winless, so certainly not a good season for the Bearcats. Certainly not a good season for the Bearcats.
That's not Bearcat football.
No.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so going to be interesting playoffs, John. Like we mentioned earlier, it's just we're going to see tons of big games right away.
And I have some bad news, Lower State 5A. So I think, I don't know, help me out here. Who else is in the Carolina Forest region? Because they are tabbed as the number 2 coming out of that region.
Carolina Forest region. Oh, yes, Sumter is the one there.
Sumter is the one.
Sumter the one, Carolina Forest the 2 there.
Bad news, great game. Carolina Forest on the road, first round, they get a Goose Creek. That's going to be if you had asked me 2 weeks ago, hey, Goose Creek, Carolina Forest, when do they meet? I go, ooh, probably really late.
Yeah. Well, it is late already, John.
It is.
Round 1 is late.
So that's a big game. And the winner of Goose Creek, Carolina Forest, will go to Dutch Fork most likely in the second round.
Yep. Greenwood will travel to South Point next week as well, so that does help out South Point there for sure. Yeah, going to be interesting for sure to see. Yeah, we'll get you guys updated probably tomorrow or Sunday on when these shows will be, so you can set your calendars. We know you guys are on the edge of your seat waiting for them. I know I am. I know you are too. Anything else you want to hit on, John, before we get out of here?
Props again to Willis Lane, Camden Bulldogs, just the whole program for what they did tonight. That's awesome.
Yep.
See them do that, and I didn't really want to talk about AC Florida tonight, but we haven't talked a ton about them this year, and they're fun to watch.
One team before I do want to shout out our games to league one more time. TL Hanna 31, Hillcrest 16, Wren 55, Powdersville 19, North Myrtle Beach 34, Myrtle Beach 6, Newberry 35, Batesburg-Leesville 19. Our teams of the week, John goes with Camden. I go with North Myrtle Beach. Great night of football, John. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I know we had a lot of comments from Chris and Patrick. We appreciate that. Amy getting in with comments. Mark, Tyrell, Corley getting in with comments. Everybody viewing it. We had a lot of viewers here tonight. I appreciate that. Like I said, like the page, share it, tell your friends, set up your notifications so you know when we go live. Moving the Chains SC on Facebook, Moving the Chains on Instagram and Twitter, on YouTube, Moving the Chains, or on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. We're everywhere social media can take you. You can find us. And we're excited to get these playoff shows going. We got some good stuff coming for you guys next week on that as well. Then we're going to be with Rob on ESPN Upstate previews and playoffs next Thursday or Friday as well. That'll be fun to do. So definitely tune in and tell your friends. We're trying to make this show big, man. We work hard on this, guys. Like I know that we appreciate y'all tuning in, but this is something that we do it for fun, but we do put a lot of work into it. We really do, and all the support is much appreciated. Like we do from our sponsor, the Georgia AC, who helps pay for us to go to games when we have to pay. Unlike tonight. Shout out John Kane again, getting us in with the passes. Hey, big time there for him.
TL Hanford tonight, they don't need any money.
That's right.
Boston College needs to come talk to them about how to spend money on baseball.
Yep, Chris, you're exactly right. New season starting next week. Everybody's 0-0. Doesn't matter what you did. You just got to win. It's just win, baby, win. But
that easy, huh?
Yeah.
Just go to the rereservation. Do something.
Second time in 40 years. It's got to happen, right?
Yeah. We've landed on the moon 60 years ago. That seems about to be as hard as a task as beating the Indians at the reservation in the playoffs.
That's
incredible.
It. Well, for John Epps, I'm Kevin Thomas. This has been a great show. Week 7, Moving the Chains. Excited to come to you guys twice next week and then our recap show as well. So stay tuned for that. Have a great weekend. We will catch you guys soon.